You know, it's just like, that's what I can't, that's what I don't like.
How can you not like that?
I mean,
like that whole thing that you
don't
just
like it when I do
just,
it.
like, thoroughly enjoyed the 20 odd seconds of you doing that. Oh, there is a nice sound.
Does it say so? Yeah.
Don't. Oh, good Lord.
Coors.
Wow. Are they a sponsor of the show now?
No, but I was thinking that maybe Heineken could be. With the star as the logo. I thought maybe that, like, if anything, Heineken's a close, you know,
could be a
close, you know, sponsor for us. The star.
Maybe a bourbon outfit might want to.
No, I know. I get the bourbon. We've been all very bourbon-y for a while. I just didn't have any. Been low on the bourbon, man.
Really? Are you done with bourbon now?
I don't think so. It's just been a time. Hey, you know, I gotta say something too. Is like when we see each other, like when I put our solo shots up, I say like host of Release Day Series podcast. Yours says No Sleep Till Sudbury podcast. You know, we don't talk about that very often. You know, how's your podcast doing?
Good.
How are you doing with it?
I just hit 250 episodes. Yeah.
250.
Number 250 just rolled.
It's unreal. Wow. Congratulations. That's what cheers to that.
Oh, thanks. Cheers. Thank you. I've been doing it since 2017.
Yeah.
No, it's doing well. I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Good, man. You should be. No, no, that's awesome. Like, you're doing it since 2017. That means you've been doing it consistently. You've been doing something consistently since that. Like, that's huge.
I'm inside it, right? So I don't see it that way. I see it as like, you know, what's going to be next week? What's going to be? It's like this constant conveyor belt.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you're right. I should kind of take the time to get out of my own head and stand back and kind of have a look at it. Because it is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I can at least appreciate it. I mean, I've been doing mine. When did I start mine? 2021, beginning of 2021. And I just hit 47. Okay. So now what are we in? We're, you know, nearing the end of 2022 and I'm at 47. So, you know, like I'm not saying it's a small number, but it's not as large as it could be by this point either. But I'm still like been going hard at it. Been doing it, trying to be as consistent as possible, taking a few breaks, mental breaks where I can, and you know, but otherwise like it's been consistent.
Well, and you have a quality program. So the reason why you and I actually are doing this now is because I was very impressed with your work. And you and I had met at a show. We'd never spoken before. I don't think we communicated through the internet. But then, you know, we started talking because I looked at the videos that you had done for Release Day, and I was really impressed by those. You know, you see stuff, and I've said this to people, you see stuff and it's like, yeah, it's not bad. But I always thought that your videos were like, you know, top shelf quality that national networks could have picked up and easily used. And, you know, I think that led to this partnership.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate that.
Proud.
I always appreciate your support. A little bit of back patting here, but yeah,
always.
No, I mean, it's been fun, and that was fun to do. That was when I didn't have a full-time job taking up all my time.
It's tough, man.
So I was able to put the effort into the video stuff, and then had to pivot to a podcast, you know, so.
Happens.
Not had to. I mean, it was great. It's great to be able to. I mean, like, I'm even at the point where I'm doing like interviews that are shorter form and like a little less about fully what the full idea of the podcast is about, just so I can get like talk to more people. So anyways, you let things evolve. I was actually just talking to an artist today about that, just letting things evolve like we've done with this show. Yeah. You just let things, you start and you just take it, you know?
I couldn't
Keep
be
going.
happier with what we're doing here. You know, we were just talking about the Cheap Trick episode that we did at Budokan, and I was very happy with how that turned out. It's fun. You know, we have fun.
It's a ton of fun. Wouldn't
It
rather
is.
do anything else on a Thursday night.
No,
So,
neither would I.
And hang out with
great
you
because
people too on YouTube, our faithfuls.
That's right. We're you know, cultivating a good audience. People are coming back, and you know, I get a lot of beautiful messages from people Friday mornings saying I really enjoyed the show, and I know they're watching because they comment on aspects. And sometimes, you know, guys like T-Bone and Deke who watch the show will send pictures of the show on their big screen TVs, which is really cool. You know, I like that. It's great. It's rewarding.
Boom.
I appreciate it.
You bet.
So tonight, my
Worth
friend,
it. That alone, worth it.
Tres Hombres today.
A little band out of Texas. You said is
That's
how,
right.
how they were put it.
Little band out of Tejas. Now,
Tejas.
the eternal question: did Alex
Yeah.
Huard enjoy this recording?
You know, I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. ZZ Top was fun to listen to. It was nice, groovy, super bluesy.
Yeah.
Real nice guitar solos, a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
This was cool.
Good.
This was a cool listen. I knew LaGrange
Yep.
on this album, but that was it. So this was cool to get a sense of. And now is this like the beginnings of ZZ Top?
Yes.
Is this before they were big ZZ Top?
Yeah. This came out in like
Yeah.
73. It was their, I think this record broke them. There was a couple records before this. But this one really kind of, you know, and it's funny because the reviewers of this record didn't care much for it. They said, you know, it's another Southern band. They all sound the same. These guys are no different. And it didn't really chart. LaGrange charted. The album did not. But it was the breakthrough record. Billy Gibbons said, I knew when I heard, you know, the playback that we had something very special, and I knew this was going to change everything. And it did. Because after this came out, LaGrange did well, but, you know, Beer Drinkers and Hellraisers also did well. And, you know, from here, they just kind of, you know, took off. But then you know what happened to ZZ Top, you know, in 1983, of course, right? Or would you, actually? That's a good question. Would you know? You know, Eliminator.
Yep.
Sharp Dressed Man.
Oh yeah. Good tune.
Legs.
Yeah. Tush.
No, that was before. That was before. So Eliminator had Sharp Dressed Man, Give Me All Your Lovin', and Legs. So those were the big three singles from that record. And that record sold crazy amounts of units. Like they were a new band. And to the point where people in 1983 thought they were a new band. Like that they didn't really know about the previous ZZ Top with like Tush and LaGrange and everything else. Weird because the Eliminator has quite a different sound. And the reason why that is because, you know, ZZ Top was like this kind of Texas good old boys band, right? It was like 12-bar blues mostly. But they were in Europe playing a couple of shows, and they shared a space with a band called Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, which was a synth band, OMD. And they were really taken by the synths and how they sounded. And somebody said, we should screw around with them and just see if we can work them into our sound, which is just, it sounds perverse to think that like a kind of a Texas boogie band, a 12-bar blues band, you know, could do something like this. They just don't gel at all, right? But they did. They put out a record called El Loco, I think in 1981, with a more modern sound. And they had two singles from that, Tube Steak Boogie and Pearl Necklace. I wonder what those songs are about. And they had synths in them. You know, those two singles came out, they have a little bit of success, and then they go all in on Eliminator, and it's like a synth heavy record. and I think they sold like 10 million copies of that record. Some people don't know about albums like Tres Hombres.
Well, that's cool. So this is kind of like the origin album almost for them to kind of blow up from. This is kind of start from to get discovered a little bit.
This is the beginning. This is the breakthrough record.
I guess they had kind of a lot did they have a lot to compete with in terms of against the blues in the blues world at this time as well?
I would say no. It's funny because when I put this record on, Waiting for the Bus, the first song, and as soon as you hear those first couple notes, you know who it is. And I love that. I know it's ZZ Top, and I actually smiled because I'm like, it's the three dudes from Texas. You know right away. So I don't think so.
Cool. Three of them too.
Yeah.
Wow. It's good. It's a big sound from them. Wait for the Bus was fun. It was cool. I mean, it's, just waiting for the bus all day to get back on and go do it all over again. Real working man's guys, right? Real working man's types of songs too.
Blue collar. It's just simple too. It's funny. There's a story about this record that goes, during that Eliminator period in the 80s when ZZ Top was really popular, they remixed the old records and put them out again. And see, like Scorpions did. Remember we talked about that in the Scorpions episode? So when Scorpions put out Rocky Like a Hurricane and Love at First Sting, everybody's like, wow, who's this band? But they had this huge back catalog. So they re-released all of it. ZZ Top did the same thing, but what they did was they actually remixed the records, and it diminished the sound of albums like Tres Hombres. Because if you listen to Tres Hombres, it's got a really raw, spare sound. You can actually hear in some of the songs, you can hear the drums. Frank Beard doesn't play quite as hard. Like he'll play, but then he kind of plays a little softer, then he plays a little harder. You can hear that in the recording. But when, the remixes came out, that was all lost. So what they did in 2006 was they went back to the original mix. And what you hear on Spotify and Apple Music now is actually the original mix. Yeah. So you're a fan of the record. Let's go through the tunes. So we just talked about Waiting for the Bus. Also, in Waiting for the Bus, there is a great harp solo. I think the first half of that solo is a harmonica, and then the rest of it is a guitar. Oh, yeah. But it's funny because there's a key modulation after that harp solo, and it goes into this kind of, I think he's playing like a wah, but it sounds almost metal because the key drops a little bit. And it's interesting because it's a blues tune, but it's got like a little metal breakdown there.
Sweet. I love the harp. I love the harp solo. I love like the way they bring that in, throughout the album. They get a lot of good, again, just good sounds, good tones, great instrumentals, and like it's funny because a lot of the songs, the lyrics are very repetitive or they're very sparse. But, it could be like a 3.5 minute song and, a minute and a half is like a wicked guitar solo or, really good instrumental. But that was, especially like Waiting for the Bus, it's kind of like, it's simple, it's simply written. It's simple, like, have mercy, been waiting for the bus all day. And then it's like, the last line is just like taking the bus till he gets Cadillac. And it's like, so it's just sort of feel like this day in the life of anybody really that was experiencing any kind of that lifestyle at the time. Hell, even now.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. The segue into Jesus Left Chicago was an accident. So there's a discrepancy. There's a little bit of a differing opinion there because initially what was said about that, and it's kind of weird, right? Because it kind of is not really, for me, it never really kind of worked. It's not a proper flow. It just sounds a little bit jarring to me. And I always wondered why. But the reason why is because the engineer, we talked about this before, they spliced tape, right? When they wanted to do a take, they wanted to like put things together. It wasn't digitized yet. So they literally had tape and they had the white pencil and eraser, and they would like splice the tape together. So this engineer, and I think his name was Terry Mitchell, I believe, Terry Manning, spliced out too much of the tape and didn't leave a space between the songs. And so he made a mistake and they couldn't fix it. And so they presented it to the band and the band was like, it sounds fine. Let's go with it. So someone told that story and almost kind of outed Manning. But then Manning said, no, that's not what happened at all. I was the guy who was always thinking about like sequencing and the seconds between and the keys and if anything worked. And I thought it was a good idea to put those two songs together and meld them. And that's why I did it. That's what he said.
But that's not necessarily the case. That's what we're saying.
Well, nobody seems to know what the answer is.
It's not because you're right. It isn't perfect, but I think it almost, I don't know. To me, it's like that's what lends to the beauty of it is that it's not perfect because it still works, but yeah, it's not like right on either a beat or a perfect segue or whatever. But it still feels like it's a continuation. Waiting for the bus, and Jesus just left Chicago. So it's kind of like, it worked for me. I like the way that it felt.
I always thought that Jesus Just Left Chicago sounded like Ride On by AC/DC. Remember that Who Made Who record? Have you heard that?
No.
There's a song called Ride On that. And it sounds like it, every time I hear, this, it sounds just like that. Like it really reminds me of it.
Well, I think I know that song. So it's interesting you say it because I think you're right. Yeah, it is very much sort of like that kind of like a,
it's just kind of a slow groove.
Yeah. I mean, like everything about it with this album, right, is all blues.
Yes.
It's all super blues. And really that's what AC/DC was, just in a more rock and roll fashion.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah. In the bones of what AC/DC was ZZ Top and the 12-bar blues, really. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an old Bon Scott tune. What's next?
Well, just one thing about that, right? The blues. I mean, even when you go back and listen to Robert Johnson, like, so much of his songs sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's all whatever, one blues riff and then take it to the turnaround and then come back to the blues riff. Like just a different song, just a different, a message or whatever you need to think about at the time. But it was all 12-bar blues.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And Billy Gibbons said that about a lot of these songs. LaGrange has the same chords, I think, as like Jesus Just Left Chicago. And Waiting for the Bus, but they put in like, some time changes in there, some modulations just to kind of mix it up. Cause like the 12-bar blues can get, pretty monotonous, right? So, and that's one thing that I wanted to kind of caution you about with this record is that it's not expansive, it can be, if you're not an open-minded listener, it can be a little monotonous to people. I love it. I've always loved this record, but
yeah, we've never really done like a true little real bluesy record, and no knock obviously to Led Zeppelin and their influences from the blues or same with the Rolling Stones, but we've never really gone into something like this where the songs are so strictly blues based. So right. I think it's okay, especially for me because I love the blues so much because I would love to just sit down and jam on like the same 3 chords but in different ways because it just feels good. Like when you find a 3-chord structure, a 4-chord structure, a 2-chord structure, when you find those structures that are just so fun to play, like you just want to sit with somebody for hours and then find new ways to play them. And that's why I really enjoyed listening to the majority of these songs, because you could just feel that energy of like, yes, I love this. I love this structure. I love this coordination. I love the way that these play together, but it's just a little bit different, and so I think that's what I love most about having gone through this album and these songs and what they do. for me. Yeah.
See, so that's cool that you have a breadth of appreciation for that.
Well, we've gotten to the reason why I'm really drinking a beer tonight, Brent.
Oh, why?
Because I'm a beer drinker and a hellraiser.
Is that why?
Huh?
Is that really why?
No, I just thought about it because I knew we were coming to the song and I'm drinking a beer and I'm like, this would be a great time to say this is the reason why I'm drinking a beer. So no, but yes.
I actually thought that you had planned all this.
No, man, I'm just a beer drinker and hellraiser. There's a great line in this that is, it's something about the guys getting a fight on the corner, but then we left them because they were buddies or something. I can't even remember how it goes, but I love it because it's like, we just left them because they were actually just having a good time.
The song has been covered by so many people. Motorhead, Van Halen, Ozzy, I think, did this with Lemmy from Motorhead. A lot of people have covered this song.
Yeah. See, we were trying to cover up the corner fight, but everything's cool because they just tight. I just thought that was funny because, like, yeah, like, how about, like, I mean, especially me, I've seen people fighting, or I've been fighting a buddy of mine, and it's like, people try and break it up. I was like, no, we're cool. We're just tight. We're good. You know? So I just thought it was funny. Just really fits with it. Yeah. So, you know, actually, here's a quick little story for you. One time we were drinking way back in the day, and my buddy, actually, Adam, it's his birthday today. We're recording this October 6th. Happy birthday, Redmond. Birthday, Adam. He ripped a fence post off of, like, we were a little bit destructive at times as well. So he ripped, like, the ball of a fence post off, and he threw it to me to catch. Except I didn't catch it, and it hit me square in the lip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And a big fat lip. I was bleeding. And I was just bent over and I was just spitting blood for a bit, and cops pulled up to see what was going on. Everything was good. Everything was good, folks. But of course, my buddy Kyle was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, and Jamie. My buddy Jamie was on the phone with my girlfriend, who was with Kyle, and he was like, he's like, yeah, no, we're good. Gotta go. Cops just showed up, and that was all that they got.
Oh wow.
Anyways, it was all good. It was a good night. Anyways, we had a good time. We were hellraisers, you know. We never really, like, vandalized much.
How old were you at this time? This just like a couple weeks ago.
Well, drinking age, 20.
Yeah. This last weekend.
Brent, I wish it was a couple weeks ago. I wish, man.
Master of Sparks kind of sounds, it's along the same lines as this little story that you just told about the destruction. So the song is about Billy Gibson and his buddy, who built this contraption that was like a cage, but it was round. It was like a ball, and it was made of steel, and they put seats in it and everything, and a seat belt. And they put it in the back of a truck. So it was just like stupid young fun, right? So they put it in the back of a truck, and the truck accelerated, and then someone rolled it out of the truck just to see, like, what would happen. And I think what happened was they dropped it on the road, and this, like, huge stream of sparks came out from the ball. Nobody got, really hurt. But somebody said, "You're the master of sparks," or something like that. So they wrote a song about this stupid adventure that somebody actually created this thing, like, took the time to create, like, a ball that you could go into and close a door and sit in a seat and, strap yourself in. And, it's kind of like this weird Evel Knievel experiment. That's what the song's about, believe it or not. And Billy Gibbons was one of the people in this thing.
Yeah, that seemed really weird. I went through the lyrics and I had no idea what it was really supposed to be talking about. It said something about falling out and sparks and whatever, but I was just, like, lost.
I know, that's kind of bizarre. It's a very odd song. Good song, goofy lyrics.
And even the instrumentation of it.
Didn't like it?
Yeah, no, I'm not even a fan of the guitar work or anything like that. Just nothing sounds nice.
There are a couple of clunkers on this record. It's not a great record in terms of, when you compare it to like a Shake Your Money Maker or Back in Black, there's 2 or 3 songs that, aren't I don't know, they're skippers.
Yeah. Well, Master of Sparks is a skipper. For me. But Hot Blue and Righteous, though, that's a great follow-up. I really enjoy them doing something like along the lines of Purple Rain. It's pretty cool.
That's a skipper for me. It balances the record out a little bit, but I typically skip it.
See, it was nice because I wasn't used to ZZ Top singing or creating music like this, so it was cool to hear them go ahead and make something slower and more chill like this. And also, we kind of had some fun hammering on country music on our Cheap Trick episode, but you can kind of feel a little bit of a country inspiration too.
What are you saying, that this sounds like country to you?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Okay.
Okay. Move me on down the line. Side 2.
Aside from LaGrange, this is probably like my favorite song, maybe second favorite song then, between this and LaGrange.
I like it too. It doesn't seem like it fits on the record though. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't.
Sure
it stands
doesn't.
out to me a little
I totally
bit.
get that.
It doesn't work on the record, but I like it. I like the song a lot.
Yeah, but then Precious and Grace is kind of like Master of Sparks for me. So who sings? Do you know who sings Master of Sparks?
No, I don't know.
I don't know which one sings it, because it's whoever sings that sing. Maybe they sing all of them. I don't know, but it's this. It's the way that Precious and Grace is sung. It's just like, that's what I can't. That's what I don't like.
How can you not like that?
I mean,
like that whole thing that you
don't
just
like it when I do it.
Like thoroughly enjoyed the 20 odd seconds of you doing that.
Yeah. So that's what really bugs me about those 2 songs, and this one especially. So
really,
Master of Sparks, Precious and Grace, Skippers.
So this song is about 2 hitchhikers, 2 female hitchhikers, apparently very dangerous. They were outlaw types. And it kind of reminds me of, Thelma and Louise, but it also reminds me of an old saying that David Lee Roth had. David Lee Roth had some great sayings. And one of the other great sayings that he had was, Alex, hope and faith aren't just 2 prostitutes from Albuquerque.
Precious and Grace, were they prostitutes?
No, they're hitchhikers.
But not prostitutes, is what I'm saying? They weren't prostitutes either?
I don't think they were.
Okay.
No.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just reminds me. It's like...
It's a good saying. It's a good line. It's a good line. It's a good line. So what do you think of Precious and Grace? Do you like this song, or?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not for me. This is
LaGrange
song.
It's got that kind of clackety beginning, like that Slim Harpo tune, Shake Your Hips, that is on Exile. I love that. It's just that jangly blues.
It's great. I put this on in the car for the boys on the way to school. And I was like, boys, you gotta wait for this song for when it kicks in.
Yeah.
Okay. And it was just dead silence as we were driving. And then, like, obviously Hendrix loves the drums too.
Oh, yeah.
So then obviously the drums kick it. And then as soon as it kicked in, I just cranked the volume, and then the entire, just everybody in the car, me and myself, I took my hands off the wheel. I stopped driving. I stopped steering. We were all just, I'm kidding. I didn't do that, but
you should have.
It was a party, man.
That's awesome.
I loved it.
That's very cool. I like that.
I would have pulled over. Yeah. It's just great, man. It's great. It's a great blues. This is the way they do it. It's the way they take it. The solos are perfect. The way they go down into the do nee 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 nee, and they kind of build some tension, and they bring it back to the style of the beginning. It's a perfect song. There's nothing wrong with this song.
I know. I love the song. Apparently, Billy Gibbons used a Mexican peso as a pick. And that's, you hear the outro solo, like he squawks a lot, right? There's a lot of harmonics there. And apparently he uses a peso to do that. You know that part too that goes,
How can you not?
That's John Lee Hooker.
Oh, yeah?
That was lifted from Boom Boom.
Oh, that makes sense. The lifted,
Yep.
do they take it from that recording, or did
Clear left
did
there.
Billy or Dusty?
Let's say all that stuff is just kind of swirling around, right? Like it's like Led Zeppelin, they kind of gratuitously borrowed things. I think everybody just kind of. Apparently, the ZZ Top faced a lawsuit for this song, though. Somebody else tried to sue them for. I can't remember what it was, but I don't think it was a lyric, but it was it was the rhythm. They said the rhythm was too close to whatever their song was. I don't remember what the song was, but there was a lawsuit in place.
Any blues song?
I know, right? This is standard.
Literally any blues
ACD.
sounds like LaGrange. Again, that's what I love about it. All the songs, very, familiar, all part of the same type of family. But I love it because it's because one, it's good. It's great. I love the sound of the blues, and if you can do it differently, a little bit differently each time, put a little bit of a different swagger on it, a little bit of a different. Nothing wrong with that.
Agree.
Yeah.
How do you like Chic?
It's cool. Again,
really,
yeah.
I love that. Well,
you
song.
hear my.
That's one of my favorite songs from this record.
Oh.
I met a Chic from Mozambique. Oh God, yeah. The groove, man, so groovy.
It's a good groove. Yeah.
Oh, so great.
It is a good groove. I don't know. It's not really anything that's. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough coming into this from LaGrange. I think that's where it's like unfair to go for me to be like, well, after LaGrange, I can't. But it's just, yeah.
It's also got those nice. It's got funk in it. Definable funk. It's got that James Brown kind of horn thing going on. You know what I mean?
I think you're right, but I think it's a little bit sloppy. I think it's sloppy funk. I don't think it's really defined or anything.
Do you think James Brown would approve?
I have no idea what James Brown would have for breakfast. Okay, I wouldn't even try and guess if he had eggs. So I don't think. I think he'd be a tough sell. I think like Little Richard, he'd be a tough sell on it. I think if it wasn't his idea, he wouldn't approve. So no, I don't think he approved.
I doubt he would.
Yeah.
Have you heard?
Soul, baby. Soul. A little bit of gospel,
Really, eh?
a little bit of blues and gospel and soul and R&B.
Yep.
Love it.
Gospel tinges.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
Great way to end it.
Yeah, I'm kind of ambivalent. I'm on the fence.
Why?
I don't know. Not a huge fan.
You're just not the gospel type, eh? You're not feeling. You don't feel the glory of the Lord, do you, Brent?
No, maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's a good question. I never really.
The song's got
really
everything
looked at
too,
it
man.
that way. I never really thought about it from that perspective. Maybe I'm just. Maybe I'm a heathen.
That's it. You're a
Not
heathen.
worthy. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's a good way to send it off. Yeah, a few clunkers on here. This is a solid 4 out of 5 from me.
Okay.
This is cool. I enjoyed it.
That.
It's got some good blues, some good stuff to go back to and really get a sense of ZZ Top and where the blues were at in rock and roll in 1973. Cool album.
Agree. Good.
Yeah.
So, the burning question.
So, yeah, this is like, honestly, Brent, this is like my, this is like my favorite part of Thursday night. What am I gonna get next?
Oh, really? Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm talking about the album, obviously, but I mean, like, there's also just this excitement of like, oh, what's coming next week, you know? Yeah, I'm like the kind of guy who flips a page in a book. You know when you're excited because you're on to the next page, and I'm like really excited about what I'm going to read on the next 2 pages. But then when I get halfway through the first that one page, I'm like, what's going to happen when I turn the page? You know, because by like very soon those 2 pages are getting old, and I need to flip the page. So here I'm like, yes, we're flipping the page. That's it.
Wow. We're going to flip the page to The Doors.
Oh.
The Doors' first record.
The Doors' first record. Is it called Open?
It's called Alex Huard is a Ding Dong. It's called The Doors.
That's what it's called, Ding Dong. The Doors, Ding Dong. There's so many things we could do here. We could do the Doors' last album. The Doors closed.
Ding Dong. Oh, Ding Dong. That's funny.
Yeah.
Here comes your premium on Thursday Night Record Club, folks.
The Doors' second album, Handle.
Now you're scratching it.
Hey, you do whatever, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, allow me. I will stretch it every which way. Cool. The Doors.
Right. So it's going to be The Doors. Yeah.
The Doors. All right, man.
There you go. You have your assignment, young man.
Away I go. The Doors. I think I'm going to need to do some real research on The Doors.
You should. Okay. There's a lot of interesting tales to be told.
All right. I feel it.
All right.
Great, man. Well, thank you.
Go.
Cheers, and we'll see you next week when The Doors open.
I think you crack yourself up.
I do. If I don't get it from my mom, I get it from my buddy Pete. Cheers, Pete.
You're a laugh riot.